different sets of types of problems that we want to work through here. So we're gonna, I think it's 3 now that I'm looking at it. We're gonna work through these. We're not gonna work all these different problems. We're just gonna try to hit the basics and then let you work on it yourself on some practice. Okay. All right. So set number 1 is working on finding 2 numbers. Okay, finding 2 numbers. All right. So the larger of 2 numbers is 4 more than the smaller number. Okay. The sum of the numbers is 74. Find the 2 numbers. Okay. So what is the smaller number? What is the smaller number? Somebody tell me what's in their head right now. Doesn't have to be a number, it can be 3 words. Does anybody know? Does anybody know? Everybody should be shaking their head like this, right? Nobody knows, right? Okay, so what do we do when we represent a number that we don't know? We put a variable, okay? So our smaller number is x. Okay, we don't know what that number is, so we're just representing it by a variable. Okay, it says the larger of those numbers is 4 more than the smaller number. Okay, so for the larger number, if it's 4 more than the smaller number, what should this say out next to the larger? 4 more, x plus 4, right? It's 4 more than your smaller number. We know the smaller number is x, so it's 4 more than the smaller number, so it's x plus 4. Okay, somebody tell me what sum means. It's to do what? What operation? Add. Okay. So the sum of the smaller and the larger number is 74. So the smaller number, x, plus the larger number, x plus 4, is equal to 74. So, like terms on our left side, we've got 2x plus 4 is equal to 74. Subtract your 4. You got 2x is equal to 70. Now what do I do? Divide by 2. 70 divided by 2 is what? 35. 70 divided by 2 is 35. 35. All right. So any questions there? Okay. So number 2, the larger of the 2 numbers is 7 less than 3 times the smaller number. The sum of those numbers is 61. Okay, what does our smaller number do? We know what that is. Yes or no? No, right? So the smaller number is what? X. Okay, the larger number says that the larger of the 2 numbers is 7 less than 3 times. Okay, so 7 less than 3 times your smaller number. Okay, here's your smaller number. It's 7 less the 3 times of what your smaller number is. Okay, so 3 times your smaller number minus 7. All right, and then it says that the sum of those 2 numbers is 61. Okay, so again, sum means to add. You've got x plus 3x minus 7 is equal to 61. All right, so we got 4x minus 7 is equal to 61. We're going to have plus 7 plus 7. We're going to have 4x is equal to 68. What's 68 divided by 4? 17. All right, so now that we've shown how to work these, okay, notice that the smaller number is x. So the problem asks us to find the numbers plural, right? So we have to find both of the numbers. Okay, so for number one, the smaller number is x. So what is our smaller number? X. What is x equal to? 35. So what is my smaller number? 35. Okay, so our smaller number is 35. Our larger number is our smaller number plus 4, which is 39. 35 plus 4 is 39. Does that make sense? All right, so for this one, right, what's my smaller number for number 2? 17. We know the smaller number is x. X is equal to 17. Okay, my larger number is 3 times 17 minus 7. Okay, what's 3 times 17 minus 7? Plug that all in the calculator. 3, open parentheses, 17, close parentheses, minus 7 gives us what? 44. 44. So this number is 44. All right, any questions on that? All right, let's move on. So that's all we're going to do from step 1. Unless we go, if I can find a difference. Okay, let's see if any of these are different. It says together, which is add, all together, which is add, and then
Hey, Coach Pierce, can I ask you a question for
Yeah.
a quick second?
yeah.
What is that in every nation?
So it's like how far away the data set is from the mean average.
So I wanted to get, not if all these get the average and then find out which one the furthest one away is. The question
The
says
furthest one away would be the outlier.
the lowest standard deviation of that.
So there's a way to do it on the calculator. Do y'all have these calculators?
Take the class of line.
Okay, so
you get me. I can come back.
Yeah, go back. Yeah, 9:30. All right, so the length of a rectangle is 6 inches more than its width. If the perimeter of the rectangle is 24 inches, find the dimensions. Okay, so perimeter has a formula. P is equal to 2L plus 2W. Okay, which is really just all your sides added up. Okay, so the length of the rectangle is 6 inches more than its width. Okay, do we know what the width is? Yes or no? No. Okay, so width is equal to x. Okay, and then the length says that it is 6 inches more than the width. So x plus 6. Okay, we know that the whole perimeter is equal to 24. Okay, so 24 is equal to x plus 6. So that becomes 2x plus 6 is equal to 24. Subtract 6, and we've got 18 is equal to 2x. Divide by 2, and x is equal to 9. Any questions there? So as a review, okay, this is the lesson that we taught. P is equal to 2L plus 2W, right? And I want you to solve for L, okay? So this is one of your literal equations. What would be my first step? Okay, 2 what away?
2L.
Alright, so we want L on the side by itself, so you're kind of thinking on the right track, but you got the wrong variable.
You gotta do L plus L. No, you gotta do 2W.
You gotta subtract away your 2W. Okay, so that will cancel. Very likely to see a question like this on the test Monday. So P minus 2W is equal to 2L. Or remember, L needs to be on the side by itself. Okay, so you need to divide this 2, and this becomes P minus 2W over 2 is equal to L. Okay, this is like when we gave the example of Adrian and his girlfriend or whatever, right? You gotta get rid of the side chick, move her over, right? Then his girlfriend notices, she splits up with him, and now he's alone, right? Very similar to that type of problem. All right, any questions? So that was a review question there. All right, number 10, the length of the rectangle is 5 inches more than 4 times its width. Okay, if the perimeter is 90 inches, find its dimensions. Okay, so what do we know about the width? Anything? Yes, no? That's going off the length though, but do we know what the width is? These aren't trick questions, guys. Just see, do you know what it is, yes or no? The answer is no. So width is equal to X, length is equal to, right, the length is 5 inches more than 4 times. So it's 4 times your width plus the 5 inches. Okay. So we've got problem here. We're gonna go 2, so the perimeter is 90. Okay, 90. It's 2 times L, so 2 times 4 times X plus 5 plus 2 times the width. The width is X. Okay, so I just noticed I did, and I don't have ego, I'll tell you, I did number 9 wrong, okay? Because I forgot to multiply by the 2's from the perimeter formula. Okay, so we'll go back and fix that. All right, but you need to distribute the 2. Okay, you got 90 is equal to 8x. 2 times 4x is 8x. 2 times 5, which is 10. Okay, plus 2 times x, which is 2x. Okay, so this is 90 equal to 10x plus 10. Okay, subtract your 10. Okay, this is going to be 10x is equal to 90 minus 10, which is 80. Okay, and the last step is to divide by 10, and x is equal to 8. So x is equal to 8. It tells me my width is 8. It tells me my length is going to be 4 times 8, which is 32, plus 5. 32 plus 5 is 37. Okay, so when you do a problem like this on the test, it's not going to ask you what x is. It's going to ask you what is the length, okay? And you would have to go back and plug it back in and figure out what the length actually is. All right, so since I messed up number 9, let me fix that real quick. Okay, my mistake was I didn't multiply by 2. Okay, my perimeter was 24, so 24 is equal to 2 times the length, which is x plus 6, plus 2 times the width, which is x. Okay, this is 24 is equal to 2x plus 12 plus 2x. Okay, this becomes 24 is equal to 4x plus 12. This becomes, subtract that 12, you got 12 is equal to 4x, divide the 4, and x is equal to 3. All right, so the width, x equals equal to 3, and then this will be 3 plus 6, which is 9. Alright, we're just gonna work 2 more, and then we're gonna call it there. Okay. Any questions here? Alright, so the sum of 2 consecutive odd numbers is 123. So somebody just tell me 2 consecutive numbers. 2 numbers that come back to back. 7 and 8. Okay, that would be a great example. Okay, so we're trying to look at numbers like that that add up to be 123. Okay, but do we know what those 2 numbers are? No. Okay, so we know that the first number has to be x, right? We don't know what that number is. But for the second number to be consecutive, it has to be x plus what? 1. Okay, right? Because if you use Aiden's example, 7 and 8, 7 plus 1 gets you 8, right? If you use 13, 14, 13 plus 1 gives you 14, right? So your second is x plus 1. Okay, the sum of those is 123. So x plus 1 is equal to 123. Subtract your 1. You have 2x is equal to 122. Divide by 2, and you have x is equal to 122 divided by 2, which is what? Somebody put that in the calculator. 122 divided by 2. So that tells us that our first number is 61, which tells me that my second number is 62. 61 plus 1. Okay, so those are your 2 consecutive numbers that add up to be 123. All right, we're going to skip 15 and look at 16. So somebody tell me 2 consecutive even numbers. So 2 back-to-back even numbers. 2 and 4, right? 2 and 4 would be 2 consecutive even numbers. Okay, but how do you get from 2 to 4? You add 2. Okay, if I go 6 and 8, how would I get from 6 to 8? Plus 2. Okay, 12 to 14, it would be plus 2. So you're noticing that the first number, your first number is going to be x. Your second number is x plus 2, right? So come up with these examples in your head so that way you know what you're working with when you're trying to set it up. Okay, the sum of those 2 numbers, x plus 2 is 54. So we've got 2x plus 2 is equal to 54. Subtract 2. Okay, you've got 52. So 2x is equal to 52. All right. Somebody divide 52 by 2. 26. So x is equal to 26. That's your first number, so your second number would be 28. So this is number 1. This is number 2. Okay, I'm not going to work another problem, but I do want to get the thought in your head. Okay, somebody give me 2 consecutive odd numbers.
1 and 5.
Okay, that's not consecutive. 1 and 3 would be. Somebody give me another example.
5 and 2.
5 and 7. Okay, how do you get from 1 to 3? Plus 2. How do you get from 5 to 7? Plus 2. So it's very similar to your even. You're going to have to add 2 for those consecutive numbers. Okay? Make sense? All right. I know this is not everybody's favorite stuff to do, right? As far as math goes, I know probably math isn't even your favorite subject, and then even when you get in math, word problems seem to be things that people don't like the most. So the reason I'm setting this up today, you're gonna have 30 minutes in class, okay, to work on these word problems. Some of these are inequality word problems that are on Khan Academy, which we have not covered, right? We didn't do in class. So the thought process there is for you to practice them on your own in class and ask questions in class, okay? Or send us a message to where we can help, okay? Every Khan Academy for this week has been assigned and they're gonna be due Monday at 8:30. Okay, so everyone that you see on Khan Academy, when you log on today, are due at 8:30 on Monday morning, okay? All right, and then Monday we'll take our test.